What is up, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Flippin' Stoop. It is getting late, almost a day's over, but I can't help but I've been thinking about this as I've been listing today, and we made a video earlier about some of the fundamentals of how you're going to win and not win, not only on eBay but in life in general. But here on eBay, there's one factor. See, we all resell different things. Some of us sell similar items, some of us sell different items. But there's one factor we all can relate with, and it's the hardest one for everybody. Because if it wasn't, there'd be none of these videos. There'd be no videos about how people succeed on eBay or how they succeeded on eBay or anything else like that. The one thing all the people that you are watching has and has got good at when it comes to reselling is work ethic. I think this was, I don't think, I know. I mean, I can't be naive enough to think I know everybody in this group or every reseller. But without a consistent work ethic, you are not going to make great results on eBay. You know, there'll be some people that argue, says, hey, you know, maybe they come out with the newest widget or whatever it might be, and they posted them and they got 10 million of them or something like that, and their sales are crazy every day because it's the hottest thing on the market. Or back when Coco Melon dolls were the shit, right now they're worthless. But, you know, you had like a life supply of them. Of course you could list 10,000 of them and just sit back and do nothing and watch them sell. But the odds of you finding something like that is that hot in the market and getting that many of them are slim to none. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying people didn't go out there and do it. Regardless if it's eBay or any business you are trying to work at or achieve, without work ethic, you ain't going to make it. You might break even. You might make a little profit here and there. But without a work ethic and a consistent work ethic, you're not going to be able to evaluate if you're going up, if you're going down, if you're all around or what. Because we have to calculate our growth on our eBay, right? On our eBay board, whatever you call it, right? You can tell whether you're growing or not. But another way you can tell you're growing, if you're punching into your time clock each day and you're punching out when you say you're going to punch out. Listen, even if, say for an example, you're going to list 10 items today and you get it done 30 minutes before you usually do. There's still 30 minutes of shit that can be prepared for the next day to get you ahead of the next day. This is how resellers get ahead and start being able to list more items. Right? You get good enough to where you knocked out 10 items in 30 minutes. That's awesome, man. First of all, that's awesome. Or maybe it took you an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever it took you. Right? In one day, you get it done faster. Because whatever it is you're selling, you're getting better at. You're getting better at listing your items. You're getting better with the item specifics. And you're just getting more custom and used to the platform. And you begin to sell faster. There is always something to do. You can always revise items. Look, there's days when I was listing 30 items a day, there's days where I would knock that out in 2 hours. Right? I would knock the listing part of it out in 2 hours. And then I had another 2 hours or 3 hours I should have been working and I didn't. Right? Why not? Why did I feel like, okay, now it's playtime? That's where you should be looking to grow. Okay, that's where you should be looking to, okay, well, I got all my 30 items done today in 2 hours. What can I do for the next 2 hours to be ahead of the game for tomorrow? And then if I keep doing that, now I should be listing 40 and 50 items a day. Do you get what I'm saying? But without a good, consistent work ethic, you will struggle on eBay. Matter of fact, you'll struggle on any business. If you're the best roofer in the world, but you only roof on the weekends, it's going to take you 10 times longer than the guy that does it Monday through Friday to get to where he is if you're only doing it on the weekend. Why? Because you're working less hours. It's the same thing with eBay. if you look, if you're unfortunately unemployed right now and you're just sitting at home and you're pounding in applications but you can't get jobs, I don't know how that'd be possible because there's jobs everywhere, but I know some people do. They struggle getting a job, right? Devote all your time to eBay. If you got a whole pile load of clothes or things in the garage or this thing's laying around your house you don't know. Do you know most of us people buy things, use it for an hour or two, and never touch it again, set it on the shelf, and all it does is collects dust. Right? A lot of people do that. Take that shit and sell it. Do you need it? If you don't need it, sell it. That's my whole motto. If I don't need something, I sell it. If I buy a lawnmower and then come up and I get a better lawnmower or whatever, right? I've done that. Sell the lawnmower that's just sitting there. Fuck that lawnmower. You don't. You only need one lawnmower unless you're running a commercial company, and then of course don't do that. I'm just giving you little analogies though. Your work ethic plays in where you're gonna go when it comes into reselling, regardless. There is always something that can be done when you have 8 jobs to do a day. When you got to do all the photos, you got to revise your items, you got to do your sourcing, you got to deal with customer service, you got to take your packages and or if you get them picked up from home, however you do that, you still got to set it up so you can get them took from home, right? There's always things you can do. People are like, well, I only revise 10 items a day. If you have an extra half hour, revise 100 items a day. Now, I'm not telling you to go in there and change photos and reword things, but you can if you want, right? If your title ain't looking the way you think it should look, I do that still with some of mine. When I say revise items, I'm going into my listed items on my desktop and I'm changing the price by a buck or two. That is it. I'm changing it by a buck or two. It takes me about 5 seconds per item. So if you really wanted to, you could knock out 100 an hour like no. I do that usually 100, at least 100 to 200 items a day. I'm revising. It will increase your sales inevitably. That will increase your sales because if you have like us, we got over 5,000 items in our inventory. If some of them had just been sitting for months and months, you got to start lowering prices. Or if you realize, okay, because last month this type of sneaker wasn't in, but now this month that type of sneaker's valued $50 higher. Well, then increase it $50. If an item is actually worth $30 and you have it listed for 10, people are going to think something's wrong with that item, and they're not going to buy it. You might come across somebody that realizes it's a steal and grab it, but everybody else is going to be like, that's sketchy. You ever hear that analogy? If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. That's what they're thinking about your item when it's people are selling them all day long for $30 and you got it listed for 10. So it doesn't always have to be listed too high. Your item can actually be listed too low too. So be careful of that. I've done that numerous times. Numerous times I've been going through my items and I'm like, wow, those vintage LA Gear pants. I just seen a pair sell for $40 and I got them listed for $12. And they're in great condition. I jumped it up to $29. It's sold in like 25, 30 minutes. You guys see where I'm saying though? But without work ethic. The hardest thing for people, I know this for a fact because it's the hardest thing for me. Disciplined work ethic. Because once you become your own boss and you start doing this yourself, you get to make up your own schedule. And hey, if you miss a day, ain't nobody can be pissed off at you, right? Your boss ain't going to call you into the office the next day and say you're fired. eBay's never going to reach out to you and say, hey, you better start listing more or we're going to deduct your pay. They're just going to start deducting your pay. Your sales are going to start going down, right? That's what's going to happen. So I think the hardest thing for me throughout this 4 years of reselling is realizing just because I'm my own boss, doesn't mean I get all the free time in the world. Like the easiest thing to do is set a time you start, right? Don't even worry about a finish time yet. Set a time you start. Count out the number of items you're going to do that day. Do the photography and list them. It doesn't matter if it takes you 24 hours. Well, then you're listing for 24 hours, right? Now, I don't advise that. You'll drain out, you'll burn out fast. People need sleep. You need rest. You heard me months ago. Actually, no, maybe you didn't. If you're new in this group, my previous group, we had about 5,000 people in that group. And somebody got upset with something I said and banned my group. I don't know how that happened. Neither here nor there. I used to say people only need 4 hours sleep a day. You can operate. And you know what? I did that for 365 days. I did that for an entire season, not 365, but pretty close. I did it for an entire season of when I was cutting grass. Benefit of that, my eBay business grew faster. Downside of that, I was grouchy to be around. People didn't want to be around me. I was edgy. I was out. If it didn't have to do with eBay, packaging my items, or going to work and coming home, I didn't want nothing to do with it. I didn't have time to do with it. So I don't really, unless you're one of them people, and I'm a very highly energetic individual, but I still 4 hours is a little bit. At least 6. Get 6. I'm not trying to tell you how much to sleep, but seriously, 6 to 8 hours, you can focus better. You can get more work done in a shorter amount of time. You're more productive, right? You know, that's the main reason why people, when you work somewhere, they can't work you around the clock. Because trust me, if they could work you around the clock and you didn't need sleep, they would work you around the clock. There's laws behind that for reasoning. Plus, it's bad for your health. So, but the one thing we all can relate with, I don't care what you sell. I don't care if you believe the shit that comes out of my mouth. But one thing we all have to agree to is you gotta have work ethic, and if your work ethic sucks, the great thing about that is you can repair that. You can begin to start holding yourself accountable, writing it down on paper, saying what you're gonna do, and actually do what the fuck you say you're going to do, and start doing it. Maybe you have a real hard time listing 2 days a week, okay? And there's people out there that's all they can list right now, right? And you're having a real tough time with that. So do the 2. And then add one more day, right? Add one more day to it. Maybe you're struggling with inventory or whatever, but that process will end. Once you start listing and making enough money, your inventory thing won't be an issue anymore. I don't believe so. You'll be able to get enough inventory. But there's ways to make your work ethic better. There's ways to, the first thing I think you need to do is what do you have to write it down. You got to have a goal, and nobody wants to hear that. But that's the truth. If you don't have something you're working towards, what are you doing? I just want to make money. Well, you go anywhere and just make money, right? If you just want to make money, I'll fucking go to McDonald's and just make money. And I'm not knocking anybody that works at McDonald's, right? I'm not at all, period. I'm just saying, you can make money and live. If you get your credit score up there and you're working at McDonald's, you can live a pretty freaking, you can live a decent life with a good credit score at McDonald's, right? You might be in debt your whole life, but it looked like you're making it, right? So if the whole thing is just money, this is what changed me. When it came to reselling in the beginning, my first year or two, all I was thinking about is the dollar sign and the next sale, right? That's all I was doing. And I made a video in my last group about what started changing not only my income level, but changing my attitude to it, was building my inventory. I started thinking about building my inventory instead of building my income. And if you build your inventory, your income will follow. I can guarantee, unless you're finding a whole bunch of shit that nobody wants, right? So just be smart. 30 minutes a day, whatever you decide to sell, do a little bit of research on whatever you're selling, what the market is, what it looks like. I YouTube a woman on YouTube, and I literally watch a show that she makes. She's a good fashion designer, and she lets people know what the spring of 2023 clothes trends are going to be. So you know what I do? I go out, and she's very educated. She's been doing this for 25, 30 years. So she knows what's coming back out. Because she's linked in with insiders and all this other shit, right? So I watch an hour of her videos a week, so I know what to look for the next coming season. Now, if you sell stereo equipment, electronics, there's geek fucking channels too, right? And I'm not calling you a geek if you like. I like electronics, so I'm a geek too. But there's channels out there like that that's letting you know what's coming new. Right, and I don't mean like the new Apple iPhone. Like in 2023, people are going to be looking for vintage Walkmans, right? That play tapes, or vintage LPs, tracks. You know what I'm saying? A wide array. Whatever you're selling, figure out what is coming out ahead of the game, so you know what to be looking for months ahead of the time. You start stocking up on inventory. I do that a lot. Now, I have cleaned out some houses this past year that had so much clothes that I listed everything the woman had because hey, to me, I got paid for the job, so the clothes was free inventory. So basically, if it sells, it does. If it doesn't, I don't care because I didn't pay for it. Right? Anything that sells, if I could sell everything I got from that house for $1 and have a huge return on investment, right? Because we got like over 10,000 pieces of inventory, so I can sell everything for $1 and make $10,000, and I won all day long, right? That's a different case. Like if you get a bunch of stuff donated to you, that's different. But if you're going out there purchasing it, like most of us have to do, right? We got, especially in the beginning, you can put every dollar back in. I strongly encourage people to put every dollar back in for the first 365 days. How do you do that? You work your regular job and you do this as a side hustle for 365 days, right? And just keep your job at McDonald's, keep flipping burgers or whatever you're doing, passing out drinks at fucking the bar. It doesn't matter. Matter of fact, for the bar, like I feel like this side hustle right here is one of the best side hustles because it doesn't matter what time of the day you do it, right? Like, okay, say if your side hustle is cutting grass, right? You work a regular job, but then on the weekends you cut grass. The problem with that is if your job is from 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, people really ain't going to want you cutting their grass from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night, right? They're not going to want that, or they're not going to want it at 4 o'clock in the morning, which the great thing about eBay is it don't matter. You can wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be listening tonight till about 3 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because I'm all energied up, juiced up. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm not that. I had bronchitis or whatever, right? I'm feeling a little bit better. I have a little bit more energy. And I took Christmas Day off. You guys, I didn't list any items. I didn't, I don't make these videos to sit here and tell you I'm invincible. Like, I'm not Tekken Sports. He's a beast. He don't miss a day, okay? There's days that I do take off. Not often. But like a Christmas Day, we went and seen both sides of the family. Look, I'll take a dip in sales for a day to go see our family. Right? We all don't get together enough because everybody's working. But I feel like this is one side hustle, guys and girls, that it don't matter what you do, you can still do it as a side hustle. And you can build it up. Who cares if it takes you 2 years to build a $60,000 extra income a year job? Who fucking cares? You are doing something productive, working towards a goal. How many of your friends are working towards something that's going to give you an extra 60 grand a year on top of your $80,000 you're already making a year, or 60,000 or 30,000 or whatever it is, right? That's what mine was paying me, under 30 grand a year. And I loved my boss, but they all kept telling me you're not going to find anywhere with your past record that's going to pay you more than $30,000 a year. I said, that's bullshit. I'll make it happen, right? And that's what happened. We made it happen. Sorry about the dark light. I'm going to go get a little bit of coffee. So bear with me for a minute. No, better. I'm thinking about starting to shoot. Look at that. That's all inventory. You see, reseller life right there. Reseller life right there. That's our couch. Well, it used to be a couch. Now it's a inventory station. Oh, the wife loves that. But anyways, so yeah, I feel like reselling is seriously, you guys, I'm not one of them channels that's going to get all statistic wise and tell you the exact numbers you got to list. You make that up on your own. You can list as many items as you want a day. You can take this to whatever level you do. I just like to try to share a little bit of, I'm a people, I talk a lot. I'm a talker, obviously. And I'd like to encourage others to not settle for what their income is right now. Because let's face it, look. Check this out. Life inevitably is not all about money. Okay? But if you can make more of it, why not? You could do more. You can do more in life, really. And people be like, well, it's not all about the money. Well, the people that are saying that are broke. Okay? The people that are saying life ain't all about money. Look, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that life is all about money, because it's not. There's a lot of other things. But money's way up there. Money's right up there with oxygen and shit. It's up there, because you try to live without it. Life sucks when you're living broke. When you're living from paycheck to paycheck, and you don't know. Listen, I've been at times where I've went 3 months without water. That shit ain't fun. Okay? Yeah, then I went with my consumers getting shut off for a month. That shit ain't fun. Okay? It's not fun at all. So don't tell me it's not a little bit about money. Money is a currency that makes you be able to do what you want to be able to do or live comfortably, right? Without it, you're going to have long walks because you're not going to be able to afford gas in your vehicle or insurance or a vehicle or anything, right? Or you're going to have to find a pedal bike and ride it around, and I've done that too. I just try to make content that encourages people that don't think just because you're at a 9 to 5 and you think it's a dead end, that's got to be it. It doesn't. You could literally do this shit on the weekend and earn an extra 10 grand a year, maybe even 20 or 30. Like literally. I was not putting mad hours in eBay my first year, and we did like $30,000 my first year, 28,000 and some odd change, right? Our first year, and I was working a full-time job, right? I thought in my head, I'm like, my side hustle just made more than my 9 to 5 did in a year. What the fuck am I doing? If I erased the 8-hour shift I was doing at my 9 to 5 every day and did eBay, I would make triple my income, quadruple my income. And I was right. It did. It does. Right? I'm not nothing special. Guys, I'm not rich. I'm not trying to gloat about anything. I'm just telling you, if you use the work ethic you have for your job, right? Even if you're 9 to 5, if you're only going to do 50%, if you do 50% of your fullest capability, 8 hours a day on eBay, you're going to fucking win, man. You're going to fucking win. You can't lose. If you're giving eBay, no, I'm talking about undivided time. I'm not telling you if you're making $80,000 a year at your job, if you just do eBay for 8 hours and you're doing one item an hour, that you're going to make more money. I'm talking about 10 items an hour. When you get up to 10 items an hour and you're listing 80 items a day, you're going to make stupid money. I don't give a fuck if you're selling $10 items. That's $800 a day. That's $400 a day. Okay, after eBay takes all their shit and all the taxes come out and your cost of the good or whatever, you sell $800 worth of shit a day. That's $450 a day times 365. You do the math. It's fucking retarded. That's ridiculous. Now that's if you're doing $10 items. Maybe if you're doing 20 and 30 and 40 and you're finding $100 items here and there, right? And you're mixing it all up because that's what mine looks like. Our sales is from like lowest $5. If once in a blue moon, I'll come across a shirt and I'll accept the $5 offer just because I want the son of a bitch out of my store, right? It's been sitting for 6 months. But it's usually $10 to $30 is our price range, okay? If I was listing where our income is now, if I was doing another 40 to 50 items a day, it'd be a $250,000 a year business. $250,000, which would be well over $125,000 back to us a year after the cost of goods and everything else like that, right? And taxes. That's batshit crazy, right? That's batshit crazy to be sitting at your own home, going to a fucking thrift store, garage sales, what people are throwing away out of their house. They're donating. You're donating it. You're throwing the motherfucker and shit away, right? That's basically what you're doing. Other people's garbage becomes our income. That's basically what reselling is. Other people's trash that they're getting ready. Okay, they're going to have a garage sale. After the garage sale, guess what's going to happen? Either it's going in the trash or it's going to Goodwill. One of the two. So it's their trash. They're done with it. Their kids outgrew it. They ain't touched it in 25 years, right? So our business is very interesting. If you look at it, you are actually keeping things in circulation instead of going to the landfill. That's another good way to work. I don't want to be like one of the big green people where like everything's got to be economically okay, right? But I do agree that our landfills are overfilled and they're going to continue to get overfilled. So actually you're doing a good thing too, right? But really, guys, I'm going to sum this video up because I'm going to get grinding on this next day ahead. I'm going to get a couple hours ahead tonight. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video was the importance of your work ethic. If you have good work ethic, I promise to God to you, you cannot fail on eBay. Now, are you gonna have days that ain't looking good? Fuck yes, you're going to. I can promise you that. You're going to have quite a few of them, right? You're going to have days where you're like, I don't know. I stayed under 10 items sold a day for like fucking 8 months, guys, or 6 months. I was going like, what am I doing wrong? eBay was just testing me. Is he going to keep going? And then one day I jumped up to 11, then 20, then 30. Then that's exactly how it goes. Like you're going to get a sale here, you're going to get a sale there. And then all of a sudden they're going to get a little more consistent. And then you're going to ride that fucking boat for a couple few weeks, maybe even a couple few months. And then the doors are going to start opening up. And you're like, holy shit, we went from 1 sale a week to 10 sales a day, right? But the only way you're getting 10 sales a day is if you're listing 10 items a day. Unless you have the hottest widget and it's like the best bun coffee maker and you got a fucking 59 pallets in your fucking storage unit, right? That's a different case. I'm talking about resale goods, like goods that are used or you're finding them new at the thrift store, the way we do with clothes. I just think that this business model, like if you've never ever started a business, but you've always thought of it, I think this is a really good place to get your feet wet in it, right? Because you're not directly dealing with people for number one, right? Not directly having people come into your business and you got to deal with them. You can deal with them through a computer, right? You can look mad but be typing happy, right? Like just some nasty feedback. You can really be like, hey, F you motherfucker, but I'm not going to say that because that's going to ruin me, right? So it's a great place to get your feet wet and learn a lot about business. I still don't feel like I know nothing about nothing when it comes to business. I know how to take some photos. I know how to kind of find some items that women want these days. And I know how to list some items efficiently. But it's not easy. That all sounds real easy. But do it every day for 365 days. It becomes not easy. Okay? I'll give you an example. Walking 1 mile is easy. Walk 1 mile every day for 365 days. All of a sudden, it's not easy no more, right? So my suggestion to you is think about this as one day at a time. Just like an alcoholic would say, oh, I'm just not going to have a drink for today. But instead, I don't want to list today, but today is just not going to be the day. Today, I'm going to list, right? I'm going to at least list today. Even if I don't list tomorrow, I'm listing today. And then when I wake up the next day, say the same thing and do the same thing. Don't think, okay, this is going to take me 2 years to get to where I want to be and thinking about don't think about the moment you're in now in the work you're putting in now. The payout's going to come down the road. If you're looking for instant gratification, don't even get it. I'm telling you, don't get started because it's not going to come fast enough. This is what drives me nuts about some channels. I'm not even going to say any names. Is they're not emphasizing the fact is about patience. You have to be patient. You can't start nothing. As a matter of fact, you can actually be less patient on eBay because you can build a pretty substantial income in a year or two on eBay, and that's batshit crazy. Okay, you're not paying the marketing fees. Do you know how much eBay forks out a year in their marketing on their commercials? And on their little bubble pop-ups on Facebook and all this other shit, they pay a shit ton of money for that you don't have to pay. So when people say Feebay or eBay's fees and all this shit, and they bitch about 13%, you fucking go do it yourself. Go pay for your own commercials on the radio or on TV. When you're spending $500,000 to $1 million a year to have a 20-second fucking ad on NBC. And it's shown once a day. That's crazy. The marketing is nuts. They do it for you. So that 13%, if you really think about it, ain't shit. It really ain't shit. And people bitch. Listen, I'm telling you this right now. The people that are bitching about that amount of fee are ignorant to what it really costs to start a brick and mortar and market yourself. Right? And people say, well, you can market all your stuff for free on Facebook. Well, you can to a degree. But how far is that going to get you when it's only to your friends? I got 3,000 friends. Okay, 3,000 friends when it comes to a business ain't shit. Okay, now all them 3,000 friends ain't going to come to your brick and mortar store. Most people got 3,000 friends and they only know 4. on Facebook. So when it comes to marketing, you have a heads up in this game. I believe when it comes to your first time as trying to become, even if it's self-employed, whatever you want to call it, or whatever. I consider running a business, you have employees, okay? So I'm basically still self-employed, but I decide my income. Okay, I decide my income by the amount of work ethic I put in to eBay. So, by saying that though, you have an upper hand here. They are giving you a free platform that has fucking millions, hundreds of millions of customers that come a month to buy items. Not just to look, they actually buy items every month. Where are you going to get that traffic? Please, so did you just hear what I said? Hundreds of millions of active eBay customers, which means they're buying. Active means they're buying. Where else, in what brick and mortar, are you going to put out there that's going to get that much traffic in one fucking month? I don't think your local Walmart gets that much customers in 1 month. Now, maybe a big chain of them do, but not just one. That's batshit crazy how many customers that is. You have the ability to reach that many fucking people. That's bunker. That's batshit fucking crazy. And people don't think about that. You think you're just one person and you're just this little small store on eBay. And all these hundreds and millions of customers aren't going to see my items. Bullshit. If you list enough, they're going to start seeing your shit. I promise you that. If you stay consistent and you hold true to your work ethic and your belief that you can make it, dude, if you get in that area, if you get in the area of you're confident that what you're doing is going to pay down the road and you stay focused and consistent, you're a dangerous motherfucker on eBay. I am telling you this right now, you're dangerous. How do you think Tech and Sports, Rally Roots, and fucking Daily Refinement, how do you think them guys did that? They didn't do it no different than what I'm talking about. Consistent work ethic every day. And look at them. Look where they're at right now. Look where Tech and Sports is. The guys, people that is bringing him inventory are driving BMWs. The dude's not doing bad. Okay? So tell me this 13% fee shit is so terrible. People look for something minuscule like that and blow it up to get into your head and think, yeah, that's bullshit. 13%. Man, they ain't giving you 13% of every item I sell. Do it on your own end. Go take a fucking $250,000 loan out to get your brick and mortar started. And now, I'm not saying you can't rent a building for cheaper and get one going, and I'm not discouraging you from a brick and mortar. But first timer, I don't think you can start at a better place than eBay Marketplace or any of these other platforms that allow you to list items on their fucking... Look at the amount of traffic. The town I live in, where I live in, doesn't even have close to that many people in it. Okay, I'm in a small town, but we do have bigger. We got Saginaw, Bay City, Flint, in the surrounding areas of me. Okay, but all three of them don't have the amount of traffic that comes to eBay every single month. So can you fathom that around your brain? How much traffic is on eBay? It's fucking bonkers. I can't put it together in my own mind. I just know there is so much money on eBay. If you can stay focused, get real consistent, and fuck the slow times. Stop thinking about the slow times. Just think about what you're doing today, and that is it. And do that every day. You'll be a fucking animal on eBay. I can promise you that. You'll be an eBay monster. You will be, because there's very few sellers that are doing that every single day. I'm not saying there isn't some, because there's some that expose themselves, right? Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them will never get on a channel like this and bring somebody else up or try to bring somebody else up. I believe somebody taught me something and it's changed my financial fucking life. I believe I at least owe it back. Even if I make a group for 10 years. I've had a group on YouTube now since 2021. I have 47 subscribers. Do you know why I got 47 subscribers? One, it's probably my language, my backing. I don't do a bunch of edits and shit like that, right? I don't do that stuff. But I also don't upload videos every day. If you upload videos every day on YouTube, just like here on eBay, if you list items every day, you'll start getting viewers. You'll start getting subscribers. And that's how people get good on YouTube. People get good. People think that they made their first video and they were just a fucking sensation and they went viral. That happens like 1 in a billion. Okay, it's like winning the lottery for that to happen to you. You have to consistently upload videos. The man or woman that lists the most videos a day is going to get the most subscribers. It's the same thing on eBay. The man or woman who lists the most items consistently a day on eBay becomes the CEO. Basically, becomes the man or woman. That's literally what it is. I said I'm not a master. I'm under 5 years yet still. By September of this coming year, 2023, I've been doing it 5 years. Okay, and there's some things going to change in this coming year for me in what I'm doing. And one of them is going to be my work ethic. I'm going to add a couple more hours. I'm going to start doing 8 hours a day on eBay every single day, 7 days a week. Probably 6, and then on my 7th day, I'm just gonna have a bunch inside my my drafts, and I'm gonna release them on Sunday, so I can at least have 1 day off a week. Right? That's a very good thing to do, guys. I've done it a couple times. It is very good to have a couple in your drafts, but make sure you use them before 60 days, or is it 40 days, guys? That if you don't use your drafts, they'll automatically just dissipate. They'll disappear. So, anyways, I wanted to make this video to let you guys and girls know, and me know. I reinsure myself through these videos, guys. These videos help me too, right? I make these videos because I humble myself down low. Why? Because I'm no different than any other reseller. I think the reselling community, instead of being like, forget that reseller, forget that, I think we all should congregate together to become the best version of us we can. Be the best reseller you can. Why not? Don't everybody want to be great at something one time in their life? We've all had that feeling. I'm not the only one that ever, like, there was a time when I was working out 5 years ago. I said, I'm going to be the best clean bodybuilder at the age of 35, right? And then I quit, but whatever, right? But that was one of my goals. And now, could I have got there? Maybe, I don't know, right? Because I gave up. My work ethic sucked. I was good for 2 years and then I quit. My goal today in the gym is to be the best me I've ever been by 42 years old. It's getting harder to do that in my 40s. I have to take different things because a man and a woman, their estrogen and testosterone levels decrease, right? So I am taking testosterone to boost it up a little bit. But I make this content, guys, one, because I like to talk, and reselling is lonely. If you're doing it by yourself, it is a lonely business, okay? You have to be okay with that. But I also want to see people hit their full potential. There are people in this group that could do millions of dollars in sales. I know it. I know I could. I could be that guy, and so can you. And you could be that girl. Why not go after it? The only thing that's holding me or you back is me or you. That is it. Look, the one thing about time is it never stops. Look, if your work ethic could be like the sun and the moon, you'd be a millionaire in 5 years on eBay. I think in a 6 to 10 year span, if you started out today and you went gung-ho, in 6 to 10 years, you could be a millionaire on eBay. Maybe faster. I don't know how fast Tech and Sports did it, but I know you could be if you handled your money. I mean, of course, there's a lot of stipulations, right? You couldn't just be making the money and blowing the money. That's not how millionaires become millionaires. Millionaires don't become millionaires because they made $1 million and blew it all. You'll find that a lot in Lotto. You'll see people hit $141 million. 5 years later, they ain't got a dollar in their pocket. They were bankrupt. They owe all this shit. They lost their house. They lost their fancy cars, and they're drug addicts. I'm serious. That happens a lot, right? It even happens with people that are in football, basketball. They're not used to that amount of money, and they just blow through it, right? I've never had that amount of money, so I've never blew through it. But anyways, I want to encourage you all in this group. Share this group if you would. Share this group to a friend. If they're kind of lost, they're in a financial crisis, and they need some help, you don't know what one word could mean to somebody, and give them some hope to go after their dreams. That's my whole point. My point of making this content ain't for you guys to see me and like me, right? I'm 41. I'm over the freaking people wanting people to fucking admire me or like me. I don't care. If I did, I'd be doing all that editing and shit, right? I'd be doing all that. My hair would be done, right? I wouldn't have a hat on. I'm just trying to get you guys to, maybe I will say something that will hit home and resonate with you, and it will give you that extra oomph. Or you're listing items and you don't want to list today, so you hear me talking like this, and it pumps you up a little bit to keep going and getting your items done today. Because we all need it, guys. Every day. Every day I'm listening to Gary V. Or I don't know if any of you guys know him, but if you don't, I don't know. You must not be on YouTube that often. Or any social media platform, because he's on every one of them. But I listen to people like Eric Thomas. I listen to people like another good one is Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Show. Listen to that dude right there. If you do what that man says right there, you'll be invincible. And he's so happy and laid back and humble. The dude has accomplished amazing things in his life, and he's super humble. So what I'm just trying to get people to do is find it in yourself to get the most you can out of eBay. Schedules help. And your work ethic is inevitable. If your work ethic sucks, your results are going to suck. And that isn't anything you do in life. This is not just eBay, guys. If your work ethic in your relationship sucks, your relationship's going to suck. If your work ethic in communication sucks, well, guess what? Your communication's going to suck. So if your work ethic on eBay sucks, you're going to suck at eBay, right? If you're consistent, and even though you're making mistakes, you learn from them, but you keep going. Don't let the mistake make you throw in the towel for the day and say, the hell with this. I knew this shit wasn't going to work for me. I'm done. You know how many times I did that when I first started? Go up to my fiance, I'm done with this shit, man. Fuck this, blah, 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 blah. She's like, babe, you look like a little kid. I was like, damn, I needed to hear that, right? I didn't want to hear that at that moment. But when I processed it in my head afterwards, I thought, I'm like, you're right. I just threw a temper tantrum because something didn't go my way. Now I got to learn from that. And the next time something like that comes, plan for it. Okay. Don't ever think your eBay journey is going to be a straight and narrow path. It ain't never going to. There ain't no just some one way. Yep, one way I'm on the right way, and all I'm going to do is go up to the end. It's not going to happen that way. You're going to get shifted all. You're going to hit this rock. You're going to hit that rock. You're going to run into this wall. You're going to have a setback over here. You're not going to be able to get inventory tomorrow. Matter of fact, your car's going to break down. You're not going to be able to get your packages to the post office on time, and that's going to give you a strike, and somebody's going to leave you bad feedback. All this shit I've been through. Your phone is going to drop out of your hand, and it's going to break. And you don't got the extra $250 to go to Walmart and buy another phone. I've been through all that. Been through all that. Tax season come, I didn't know what to do. Oh my God, I panicked. I went to my CPA and he's like, you better figure some shit out. I've been through all that. Okay? You can get through it. You're going to hit shit. If you're pushing forward, you're going to hit some shit. Okay? That whole thing about the success of going up the hill, you're going to go up a few steps and roll back a few. Go up, roll back, go up, roll back. But if you just keep chucking, you're going to get to the top of that motherfucker one day. It might take you 20 years. So what? At least you attempted something. You might fail. Completely, you might fail, and it just didn't work out for you. But at least you had the courage to do it. It's your boy Flippin' Stoop, and I hope everybody gets the best they can out of eBay, man. I really do. I just think there isn't a soul out there that couldn't blow their own fucking mind about how much income you could actually generate through eBay. And you'll feel good about yourself that you built something from the courage within. You started with not a fucking, you didn't even know how to how many characters can be in the title, right? There's 80 characters in the title you can put. You didn't know that shit when you first started. You thought you could write a goddamn book about the title. No, you cannot. You got to figure it out. You got to start abbreviating shit, right? Excellent use condition, EUC, right? All that shit. You didn't know none of that shit in the beginning. You learned that shit as you went. It's little details like that you're going to learn in the beginning. You're not going to know it. 6 months later, you're going to just flow right through it. That's all going to build you up. I just want to see everybody succeed on eBay, and I think everybody can. And that's the guy I want to be. I want to be the guy that the person comes to me. I've had a woman come to me a couple times saying, I'm done with this shit. I got 3,000 items in my store. My store ain't doing good. I'm tired of it. I asked her what she's doing. She's listing twice a week. I said, there you go. Fix that. She did that, and all of a sudden her sales went through the roof. I want to be that guy. Right? I don't want to be the guy that's over here gloating about my store. I want to help other people get their store up. I want to see other people do good. Why? I generally like to see people happy and successful. I'm not one of the people that sees somebody that wrote like an Elon Musk and be like, fucker, he's pouring into money. I'm not that guy. I'm glad for him. I'm proud for him. I'm proud he works 99.9 hours a day. Right? I'm proud he's that guy. He shows us what is possible. Do you understand that? Do you understand that in your brain, in your head? This man is not an alien. Well, I don't know. He kind of looks that way. But it's your boy Flippinstoop, and I want to see you all win.